the difference between nature and nurture. People have tried to emphasize that the character of our life is derived from the nature, in this case, the genetics of who we are. For the longest time, nature prevailed. And it really got emphasized when we got into the nature of DNA. Because once they understood that the DNA was a blueprint to create your body, they also said it's the same DNA that controls your emotions and your behaviors. Are you pre-programmed? Well, since you didn't pick the genes and you can't change the genes, and apparently the genes turn on and off by themselves, that consciousness led us to believe that then our life is controlled by our heredity and we become victims of that life. And as it unfolds, that's just the way life is. Well, that was true for a long, long time. Interestingly enough, our understanding of heredity has profoundly changed. There's a revolution, which I discuss all the time, about the new science called epigenetics. The revolution is in the meaning of epi. Epi means above. So if this character is under epigenetic control, it means this character is under control above the genes, epigenetically. Well, wait a minute. Epigenetics is how environment, or our perception of the environment, is programming our genetics through our life experiences. Well, if you understand that, then we go from victim of heredity, genetics, to master of your life via epigenetics. When do these programs come in that shape our epigenetic mechanism? These programs started even before you were born. That's genetic determinism, which then reduced the mother's function to nothing more than providing nutrition so that the baby will grow and allow the genes to control its life. Well, that model is out. Epigenetics says, no, genes don't turn on and off. That's the first big error of everything. Why? Well, what is a gene? A gene is a molecular blueprint to make the proteins of your body. The proteins are very complex molecules, and the genes provide the pattern to make these molecules. So, yep, genes are blueprints. Relevance to that is, well, I always say this in the lecture, I say you go into an architect's office and she's working on a blueprint, and I say, you ask your architect, hey, is your blueprint on or off? And she would look at you like, what are you, crazy? And I said, why? She would say, it's a blueprint. There's no on and off. True. A gene is a blueprint. There's no on and off. A better way to look at it is if you were the architect. It's the architect that reads the blueprints. It's the architect that can adjust the blueprints. The mind is the visual picture of where you want to go. And then the brain translates that picture into complementary chemistry, the chemistry that will manifest that expression. So the brain releases the chemistry that's going to shape your biology to actually create the vision you're looking for. And it does it through the chemistry that goes into the blood. Well, the chemistry is the information, environmental information, that controls the activity and the readout of the genes. So, point is this, your consciousness is creating a chemical cascade that will make a physical complement to what you are thinking. Well, let's go back to that child or fetus in the womb. The child or fetus in the womb, of course, is not experiencing the world or have any ideas of it. But guess what? The mother's blood has all kinds of organizing information. Hormones, growth factors, neuropeptides that deal what? With her life. If she's emotionally upset, the chemistry of upset is in her blood. If she's happy, the chemistry of happy is in her blood. But then her blood is the one that's going to the fetus. The fetus has no awareness of what's going on in the world, but it's receiving epigenetic information to adjust its biology from the mother. The reason is very profound. When the fetus is born, it's going to live in the world that the mother experiences. So the mother's perception of the world, which becomes chemistry, is passed to the fetus, which prepares the fetus genetically to go into that environment that the mother is experiencing. The mother is the equivalent of a Head Start program. She sees the world and what's going on and sends that information to the fetus, and that information epigenetically programs the fetus to best fit the environment of the mother. Well, that's called nurturing. The mother is helping create the future of that child via epigenetics. Well, then after the child is born, now it has its own experiences. And the brain of that child will respond to its experiences by making chemical cascades that correlate with those experiences. So if they're positive experiences, great. The chemistry from a positive experience will enhance the vitality of that child's genome. But in contrast, if it's a negative or threatening experience, well, that also affects the epigenetics, but puts it in a different direction. When I say different direction, I say, yeah, there are two directions that are coming from nurturing. One supports growth, the other supports protection. And the significance is you can't be in growth and in protection at the same time. Why? Well, growth is go to the stimulus, arms open, and take in the stimulus. Be it food, be it love. It's the stimulus. Protection is there's a threatening existence in that world, and the child wants to protect itself. What's it going to do? Cover itself, hide itself, wall itself off from the threat. Well, the difference is growth is open and go to the stimulus and take it in. Protection is go away from the threat and close yourself down. Well, you can't go forwards and backwards at the same time. You can't be open and closed at the same time. So the relevance is the experience of this child and its perception of the world is going to adjust its genetics. Is this nurturing? Of course it's nurturing. What is nurturing? Adapting and adjusting to the environment. And the genetics via epigenetics is the mechanism that takes a nurturing experience and programs it into the genome. We are the creators of those experiences. You're not the victim of your genes. You're the epigenetic master of your genes. And nurturing now supersedes the idea of nature. Why? Through nurturing experiences, a single gene blueprint can be altered by life experiences to create over 3,000 different molecules of proteins. Whatever genes I came with do not necessarily in any way program my future. Why? My epigenetic experiences can rewrite the outcome of those genes. The outcome of those genes, well, that's your life. Nature originally was, your life is totally out of your control, the genes have it covered, and your life has been programmed at the moment of conception. We now move to the opposite side of that spectrum because in today's world of epigenetics, the readout of those genes are subject to your perception of life. Your perception of life means your power. It's you that control this. And therefore, we're now in an revolution of what? Taking your power back. You are not a victim of your heredity. You are the creator of your life. Quantum physics is the most valid science on this planet. There is no science with more truth in it. Principle number one, consciousness is creating your life experience. If you understand that, this is exactly what nurturing was all about. Your consciousness of your experiences is what's going to program your genetics and your behavior. So the old argument, nature, nurture, nurture, nature, well, it's decidedly changed in the current world because nature is a small part of the contribution to our future. It's nurturing that has the most power in creating the life we want, the life we desire, the health we wish for, the love you look for. All of that is your power because your experiences in life are going to adjust that mechanism to manifest what you want. You are powerful creators.